Excitement in the air for soccer enthusiasts as the English Premier League, regarded as the most exciting and dramatic in the world, returned at the weekend. Arsenal, for the second season running, opened the fixtures in a Friday night football trip to Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. Unlike the opening fixture of last season, when the Gunners lost 2-0 to Brentford, they defeated the Eagles 2-0 to open this account on a positive note. Last season's runners-up, Liverpool travelled to newly promoted Fulham, who forced the Reds to a 2-2 draw. Another London side, Tottenham Hotspur, recorded the eye-catching results of the opening week with a 4-1 thrashing of Southampton, where Chelsea recorded a 1-0 away victory over Everton, managed by their legend Frank Lampard. The defending champions, Manchester City, will begin their title defence at West Ham this Sunday, while Manchester United will begin their revival when they host Brighton. So more intriguing matches and drama await soccer fans in this new season. All right, gentlemen, that's it there. As an Arsenal fan, it's a good start for us. But the only issue is we hope this continues this way.
Well, I'm sure you know your club more than some of us. You flatter to deceive.
Okay.
If Arsenal wins his opening match 4-0, no one will be bothered because this is a club that last won the Premier League before my firstborn came into this sinful world. So I don't think anyone will be bothered. But frankly, Arsenal did some very good pieces of business during the transfer window, and they completed business quickly. Maybe the fact that Arteta used to work for Man City helped him to secure the transfer of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. Maybe, but they are good signings as far as I'm concerned, and Gabriel Jesus has begun to score goals. Arsenal had an excellent preseason, winning all his games. I just hope that they will be able to sustain the momentum and show that they can really rub shoulders with the big guns.
All right, joining us to talk sports is Mian Akiri, our sports news anchor. So Mian, the new EPL season is here.
That's it.
7 clubs from London. What does it hold for soccer fans across the globe?
You know, this is massive, especially when you want to take a look at how competitive it's been in London. And if you talk about how competitive it's been in London, you know, just yesterday we saw what it was like at Craven Cottage once again, home ground of Fulham. Liverpool, you know, failed to deliver towards the tail end, you know, of the final season, last season to be precise. And they started on a shaky note, so to say again, against Fulham. It ended 2-2, and that's a London club. Interestingly, this season we're also seeing the fact that all teams who have won the UEFA Champions League or the European Cup at this point in time, from Aston Villa to Nottingham Forest, you know, all competing in the Premier League, you know, which shows that the tradition is in there this season, and that is extremely huge. As we speak, matches are ongoing, and not the best of results for Manchester United. You know, Erik ten Hag, you know, starting on a shaking note. The first 45 minutes precisely didn't go down well, and there are 2 goals down. Question marks at this point in time also, if you consider the fact that United fans are also protesting. You know, they protested before this game. So it speaks volume about the crisis behind the scene at Manchester United And the question is, what needs to be changed? You know, what exactly must change for United to get it right? That's the million-dollar question that Eric must indeed answer as the season progresses. But you must also consider the fact that he's just coming in, one. Secondly, we've seen teams, it has happened to Manchester City, losing on the opening day of the season, still going on, you know, to win the EPL title. Arsenal, had a very disastrous start last season and then still finished, picking a ticket to Europe. So, like they say in football, it is not he who starts a game that matters. It is he who ends it, provided you end it well.
All right, Chelsea, with the new owner, defeated Everton 1-0. Would this new ownership have any impact on the team as we progress in the season?
Well, for Chelsea, to a large extent, I don't think I'm impressed, so to say, with the level of transfer activity they've been able to do, especially if you consider how they went about their transfer activity, losing at least two key players, to Barcelona. Rafinha is one of them. It was almost done and dusted, and everyone thought Rafinha was going to West London, hoping to sign for Chelsea Football Club. Barca came in. We also had the defender from Sevilla Football Club, Koundé. Everyone thought he was going to London, and Barca came in. But by and large, Deco, former Chelsea and Barca midfielder, was of the opinion that it's always been the dream of Rafinha to play for Barcelona. But one thing Chelsea also must understand with their new owner is the fact that, yes, it is illegal in football to talk directly to players when you are interested in them. It is always best and official that you go through the club. But in football today, where football is big business, the illegality has become a norm, whereby you see agents and clubs who are interested in players always tapping on the player. They sound the player first. We're interested in you, so as to make everything faster. That's what we've seen in world football today. And I think Chelsea must also learn from that. If you're able to get assurances from the player and the agent, then it will be very difficult, for a third party, to always get the chance of signing players you've probably concluded official agreements with on the end of the club side.
All right, Mikhail, do you agree with me?
Well, I think that a player, first and foremost, must be interested in joining your club before you can secure his signature. You will see that player power is a lot greater these days than before. Most teams will not want to force a player to be transferred to another club. Rafinha made it clear, despite the fact that Barcelona had an agreement with Chelsea, Rafinha made it clear that his dream had always been to play for Barcelona. And in the end, the wish of the player prevailed. If a player is determined to play for you and the club is ready to offer the money, that's an advantage, because at the end of the day, the wish of the player will prevail. But if clubs are not forthcoming, as we have seen with Ronaldo, the player may have his wish not come to pass. I think that these are early days, but I want to see what the trend looks like in the third or fourth week. Because after the first week, you had the opportunity to look at the mistakes you've made. The new coaches, for example, would need time to study, to understand their players. Many people talk about Liverpool doing well, but Jurgen Klopp was given so much time. There were occasions when he finished even outside of the top 7. But the club was patient with him. They watched him instill his methods in the players. The high pressing game, the counter press, the general aggressive nature that we see Liverpool players demonstrate when they are playing, that is playing the club way, and they have successes to show for it. I know that they will miss Mane certainly because the front line is irreplaceable. There are players that are simply irreplaceable. But hopefully they will get by. That will teach them a lesson that when you have a valuable player, you need to pay him well. If they had paid Mane well, he would not have gone to Bayern. Look at some of the useless players in Manchester United. Some of them earning even double Mane's wages after tax. Why should that be the case? So you got to pay players competitive wages. So that's why someone like Mane has left. He's irreplaceable. He won everything in England, and I'm sure that it will also be a success in at Bayern. So it's early days. Let's see what happens in the next few weeks.
All right, gentlemen. Now, a new twist this season, which I think is too early, is that a certain supercomputer in England predicted the result of the new season. Just like last season, Manchester City in first place, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester United to follow in that order. Quite reminiscent of what played out last season. Would you agree with this? I think it's too early, though.
Well, I would also want to believe that it is too early. It is early days, but if you also take a look at what the transfer window has been like, we talked about Anfield recently. Yes, I watched Nunes, Darwin come off the substitute bench, made the difference, so to say, in Liverpool's 2-2 draw against Fulham yesterday. But unfortunately, I just want to agree that Mane is irreplaceable. It suits the pressing style of Jurgen Klopp. And for Darwin Nunes, he's a different kettle of fish entirely. He's not a player who runs at the defender, makes a lot of run and all that, but he has his own advantage with the height and all that, and that made the difference yesterday. Manchester City up front, yes, you have Erling Haaland, and he has proved his worth in the Bundesliga, in the Austria Bundesliga, also with Salzburg, and coming to the Premier League. Some will want to say this is the big acid test, and these are some of the players you want to watch out for. But by and large, I feel where we would have the biggest competition would probably be the Golden Boot Award. You have the likes of Gabriel Jesus now. If you take a look at the statistics while he was at Manchester City, despite not being a super regular, scoring, over 90 goals and all that, it is quite impressive. Take a look at him, a Harry Kane at Tottenham Hotspur. You want to talk about Mohamed Salah at this point in time. Yes, Erling Haaland, yes, his first season in the Premier League, but at that young age, what he's been able to do at the apex, talking about the UEFA Champions League, you can't rule out, while Manchester City have decided to say, yes, we want to give him, the jersey number 9 and see what they would offer, the defending champions. So I feel where we should focus on at this point in time is the strikers and the Golden Boots Award. It will be a different season entirely for that top gun race.
All right.